All right, so you're gearing up for a software architect interview, and we've got a ton of resources from RoleCatcher to help you nail it. Like even their AI features. Think of this deep dive as, I don't know, like your crash course on not just how to answer those tricky questions,
Yeah.
but how to understand what's really being asked.
Yeah, it's almost like they're trying to get you to decipher some kind of secret code, you know? Interviewers want to see beyond just like the technical jargon. They want to understand,
Yeah.
how you think. They're really looking for someone who can not only like build systems, but also lead teams, and someone who can like really align technology with business goals. And that's where these 9 common software architect interview questions from RoleCatcher really come in handy.
Okay, let's dive right in. The first one is, describe your experience with software architecture. Seems simple enough, right?
Yeah, it seems deceptively simple. But this is really your chance to tell a story about your architectural journey. Think about a project that highlights your skills. What were the challenges you faced? What decisions did you have to make and why? And how did those decisions impact the project's success?
So instead of just listing out all the projects I've worked on, I should focus on like the why
Yeah.
and the how of my architectural decisions.
Exactly. And, you know, if you can, try to quantify your achievements as much as possible. Did your design improve performance? Did it reduce development time? Remember, you're not just reciting facts here. You're showcasing your problem-solving skills and your ability to think strategically.
That's a great point. It's really about like,
Yeah.
painting a picture
Oh,
of your capabilities.
okay.
Let's move on to the second question. How do you ensure the scalability of a software system? This one always kind of makes me a little bit nervous.
Yeah, it's a common concern. Interviewers want to see how you handle the pressure of a growing user base or increasing demands on the system. So think back to a project where scalability was crucial. How did you identify any potential bottlenecks? What steps did you take to kind of mitigate those risks?
So I should discuss my process for anticipating and addressing scalability challenges.
Precisely. And don't be afraid to get specific. Did you use load testing tools? Did you implement horizontal scaling techniques? The interviewer is looking for evidence that you've tackled these issues in real-world scenarios.
This is really helpful in understanding what the interviewer is looking for.
Okay.
Question number 3. How do you prioritize software requirements? This feels like,
Yeah.
walking into a minefield of conflicting demand.
Oh, absolutely. Imagine stakeholders bombarding you with like feature requests left and right. It's your job to be the voice of reason, aligning those technical decisions with business goals. So walk the interviewer through your process. How do you clarify business goals? How do you assess the impact of each requirement?
So it's about finding that balance between what's technically feasible
Yeah.
and what's strategically important for the business.
Exactly. And don't forget about collaboration. How do you gather input from stakeholders? How do you explain your rationale for prioritizing certain features over others? This is going to highlight your communication skills and your ability to navigate complex decision-making processes.
That makes a lot of sense. It's not just about technical expertise, it's about being a strategic thinker and a strong communicator. Okay, question 4 focuses on security. How do you ensure the security of a software system? With all the data breaches constantly making headlines, this one feels especially relevant.
Yeah, security is paramount. Interviewers want to see that you take a proactive approach to security. Don't just react to threats, anticipate them. Describe your process for conducting security audits and for identifying vulnerabilities.
So it's about demonstrating that I have a security mindset and that I'm constantly thinking about potential risks.
Precisely. And be prepared to discuss specific security measures you've implemented, things like encryption, secure authentication protocols, access controls. This shows that you understand the practical aspects of building secure systems.
Okay, so this is your chance to really showcase those architectural skills. Question 5. Can you describe a complex software system you designed?
This is your opportunity to shine. Choose a project that demonstrates your expertise and the challenges that you've overcome. Kind of set the scene for the interviewer. What were the business requirements? What were the technical constraints? And then walk them through your design process.
So I should tell a compelling story about my architectural journey, highlighting my creative solutions and the impact they had on the project.
Exactly. And remember, details matter. What trade-offs did you make? What innovative approaches did you use? This is your chance to demonstrate your deep understanding of software architecture.
Okay, getting into some technical fundamentals now. With question 6, can you explain the difference between a monolithic and microservices architecture?
This is a classic question. That tests your understanding of architectural patterns. Remember, it's not just about defining the terms. It's about explaining the trade-offs and when you might choose one approach over the other.
So I should discuss the pros and cons of each architecture, highlighting situations where microservices might be preferable, like when scalability and independent deployments are crucial.
Exactly. You could even mention real-world examples of companies that have successfully adopted microservices and the challenges they faced along the way. This shows that you're not just reciting textbook knowledge, you're applying it to real-world scenarios.
That's a great tip. Okay, let's move on to question 7. Can you explain the solid principles of software design? This feels like a test of my core software engineering knowledge.
It is, but remember, the interviewer isn't just looking for a definition of each principle. They want to see how you apply these principles as a software architect.
So instead of just explaining each principle individually, I should focus on how they guide my design decisions and help me create a more maintainable and extensible code base.
Exactly. You could even discuss how you use these principles to mentor junior developers or to evaluate the quality of code during code reviews. This demonstrates your leadership skills and your commitment to best practices.
That's really insightful. It's about showcasing the impact of these principles, not just reciting them. Okay, question 8 is closely related. How do you ensure the maintainability of a software system?
This question goes beyond just writing clean code. It's about building a system that can evolve over time without becoming a tangled mess. Think about the practices you champion: documentation, modular design, comprehensive testing.
So I should highlight my commitment to creating a code base that's easy for others to understand, to modify, and to enhance.
Precisely. You could even discuss tools or methodologies you've used to promote maintainability, such as automated testing frameworks or continuous integration pipelines.
This is giving me a much deeper understanding of what it means to think like a software architect. It's about considering the long-term implications of your decisions and building systems that can stand the test of time.
And that brings us to the final question in the set. Can you describe your experience with cloud-based architectures? Now, this is where the conversation starts to get really interesting. Cloud computing. It's fundamentally changed how we design and deploy software. So interviewers want to see that you're not just familiar with cloud platforms, but that you really understand those nuances of building and managing cloud-native applications.
So it's not enough to just say, oh yeah, I've used AWS.
Not at all. Be specific about the services you've used, the challenges you faced, and the solutions you've implemented. Did you leverage serverless computing? How did you address security and cost optimization in the cloud?
So I should showcase my practical experience and my ability to think through the complexities of cloud architecture.
Exactly. You could even discuss your experience with different cloud providers,
Right.
like AWS, Azure, GCP, and highlight the strengths and weaknesses of each platform.
This is making me realize that preparing for these interview questions, it's so much more than just memorizing definitions. It's really about showcasing my ability to think critically, to solve problems, and to make strategic decisions.
Exactly. And that's where RoleCatcher's AI can be incredibly helpful. Imagine having almost like a virtual coach that can analyze your answers and provide tailored feedback based on the specific job that you're applying for.
That sounds amazing. How does it work?
You can simply type or paste your answer into their platform, and their AI will assess it against the job description, highlighting areas where you could be more specific, concise, or impactful. It can even suggest alternative phrasing to make your responses more compelling.
So like having a personal editor for my interview answers.
Exactly. It helps you fine-tune your responses and ensures you're presenting yourself in the best possible light.
Okay, so before we dive back into some more interview prep, I want to touch on something that RoleCatcher's Career Guide really emphasizes, and that is the importance of specialization.
Yeah, specialization is key to standing out in a crowded job market. The field of software architecture. It's vast, and niching down allows you to become a true expert in a particular area.
So how do you choose a specialization? What are some of the hot areas right now?
Well, think about your passions and your interests. What are you naturally drawn to? What problems are you excited to solve? And then consider the market demand. What skills are employers actively seeking?
It's about finding that sweet spot
Yeah.
where your interests align with the needs of the industry.
Exactly. Some of the hot specializations right now include cloud computing, AI, machine learning, cybersecurity, and even industry-specific areas like finance or healthcare.
So if I'm interested in AI, for example, I should focus on projects that showcase my ability to design systems that incorporate machine learning algorithms or natural language processing.
Precisely, you want to demonstrate your deep understanding
Yeah.
of the specific area that you're specializing in.
This is really helpful in thinking about how to position myself strategically in the job market. Okay, so let's get back to those interview questions. We've covered the first 9. But what about those unexpected curveballs that interviewers love to throw? How do I prepare for those?
Well, the key is to develop a framework for approaching any interview question. Think about what the interviewer is really trying to uncover. Are they assessing your problem-solving skills, your technical depth, your leadership abilities?
So it's about understanding the underlying intent of the question, rather than just focusing on the surface level.
Exactly. Once you understand the intent, you can then tailor your response to address that specific skill or quality that they're looking for.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Let's say the interviewer asks, "Tell me about a time you failed." They're not actually interested in hearing about like a catastrophic mistake. They want to see how you handle setbacks, what you learn from them, and how you apply those lessons to future projects.
So I should frame my response in a way that highlights my resilience, my learning agility, and my ability to grow from challenges.
Precisely. And be specific. Don't just say, "I learned from my mistakes." Describe the specific actions you took to correct the situation and prevent similar issues from happening again.
This is really helpful. In reframing how I think about interview questions, it's not about having all the right answers. It's about demonstrating my thought process, my problem-solving skills, and my ability to learn and adapt.
Exactly. And don't forget about the power of storytelling. Weaving narratives into your responses makes them more engaging and memorable.
Speaking of memorable, one of the things that really struck me about RoleCatcher's resources was the emphasis on soft skills. We've talked a lot about technical expertise. But what about those non-technical skills that are crucial for success as a software architect?
Yeah, soft skills are absolutely essential. You're not just working with code, you're working with people, you're leading teams, you're collaborating with stakeholders, and you're communicating complex technical concepts to non-technical audiences.
Well, I need to be a strong communicator.
Yeah, a collaborator.
And a leader.
Yeah, precisely. And you need to be able to demonstrate those skills in an interview setting.
How do I do that?
Again, storytelling is key. When answering behavioral interview questions, focus on situations where you've demonstrated your communication, collaboration, or leadership skills.
For example, I could talk about a time when I had to explain a complex technical concept to a non-technical stakeholder in a way that they could understand.
Exactly. Or you could talk about a time when you had to resolve a conflict within your team or negotiate a compromise between competing priorities.
These soft skills are often overlooked, but they're absolutely critical for success in any leadership role, including software architect.
They are. And there's something that interviewers are going to be paying close attention to. So be prepared to showcase your soft skills alongside your technical expertise.
This has been incredibly insightful. I'm feeling much more confident about approaching those interview questions strategically. But there's one thing I'm still curious about. How do I stay ahead of the curve in this rapidly evolving field?
That's a great question. The technology landscape is constantly changing, and it can be challenging to keep up. But there are a few key things you can do.
Like what?
First, be a lifelong learner. Embrace new technologies, explore emerging trends, and never stop expanding your knowledge base.
So continuous learning is key. What else?
Network with other professionals in the field. Attend conferences, join online communities, engage in discussions about the latest advancements.
So it's not just about what you know. It's about who you know.
It's about both. Building relationships with other experts in your field can expose you to new ideas, it can provide valuable insights, and it can even open up new career opportunities.
And how does RoleCatcher help with that?
Their platform provides a wealth of resources for staying up to date on industry trends and connecting with other professionals. They have a massive database of companies, industry reports, and even a feature that allows you to connect with other users who share similar skills and interests.
So it's like having a built-in network of experts at my fingertips.
Exactly. And they also offer personalized career coaching to help you navigate your career path and achieve your professional goals.
This deep dive has been incredibly valuable. I feel like I have a much clearer understanding of what it takes to succeed as a software architect and how to prepare for those all-important interviews.
Well, it's been a pleasure unpacking all of this with you. Remember, preparation is key. Invest the time to research the company, practice your answers, and leverage resources like RoleCatcher to fine-tune your approach.
And don't forget to showcase your soft skills, your passion for technology, and your ability to think strategically.
Absolutely. Go into that interview confident, prepared, and ready to demonstrate your unique blend of skills and experience.
Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier, and that is the career path of a software architect. You know RoleCatcher's career guides. They not only lay out the typical responsibilities at each level, but they also offer these example profiles, which I find incredibly helpful.
Yeah, those profiles really bring the career path to life. They give you a glimpse into the day-to-day realities of what it means to be a junior software architect, a senior software architect, and everything in between.
They really paint a picture of,
Yeah.
the skills you'll be owning, the challenges you'll be tackling, and the impacts you can have at each stage. Like, for instance, that example profile of a junior software architect, someone who might be fresh out of university
Yeah.
with, a solid foundation in programming. They're eager to learn, collaborating with senior architects on system design, maybe even participating in code reviews.
Yeah, it's almost like an apprenticeship, isn't it? You're learning the ropes from the masters, building that technical foundation, and starting to understand the big picture of software architecture.
And as you progress to the role of a software architect, that profile kind of shifts. Now you're leading projects, you're making key design decisions, translating those business requirements into technical solutions. You're the one mentoring those junior architects, guiding them along their own career paths.
Yeah, it's a transition from being a student to becoming a teacher in a way. You're not just absorbing knowledge anymore, you're sharing it and guiding others.
And those example profiles, they highlight that increasing level of responsibility and leadership that comes with each career stage. By the time you reach like the senior software architect level, you're defining architectural visions for entire organizations. You're collaborating with senior executives and ensuring alignment between technology and business strategy.
It's fascinating to see how the focus shifts from the tactical to the strategic as you progress through your career.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And those example profiles, they also highlight the importance of continuous learning. The technology landscape is constantly evolving, so you really need to be a lifelong learner, embracing those new trends and expanding your knowledge base to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah, those RoleCatcher Career Guides are a goldmine of information. It's like having a personalized roadmap for your career journey.
They are. And they can be incredibly helpful in preparing for those tough interview questions. Knowing the typical responsibilities and skills expected at each level helps you tailor your answers to showcase your readiness. For the specific role you're targeting, it's been an incredible deep dive. We've covered so much ground.
It really has. We tackled those common interview questions, we delved into the evolving role of a software architect, and we even explored how RoleCatcher's AI can give you an edge.
It's like having a secret weapon in your arsenal. Their AI can analyze job descriptions, tailor your resume and answers, and even help you get discovered by employers. It's amazing.
And beyond the AI, don't forget about those career guides. They really paint a vivid picture of what your journey could look like, from junior architect to those coveted leadership roles.
So for anyone out there prepping for a software architect interview, remember this. It's not just about technical skills. It's about showcasing your problem-solving abilities, your communication skills, and your passion for building innovative solutions.
Absolutely. Be prepared to tell compelling stories, highlight your achievements, and demonstrate your ability to think strategically. And don't forget to leverage the power of RoleCatcher. Their resources can be a game changer in your job search.
Oh, it's been a fantastic deep dive. Good luck out there.